Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we would like to present on the research of customer satisfaction toward Europe hotel booking system.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Nur Hayani binti Syamuddin.
Hello, my name is Anis Humaira binti Abdul Wahab.
Hello, my name is Hainani Irina binti Hasanuddin.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Dini Iskandar bin Muhammad Zalani. So for the first one is introduction. So there are rapidly growing new wave for Malaysia's tourism industry, which is hotel online booking system. So for example, for these three is a hotel booking system is Trivago, Agoda, and Traveloka. So this three is well known for its affordable price, few discount and review for their hotel. So but this hotel booking online system involves online payment. So some customer may feel difficult. So this research will discover the customer satisfaction toward the Europe hotel booking system. So this is the link for the source for this research. So this research involves a number of 103,905 respondents. So there are 10 independent variables and 1 target variables. Customer satisfaction must be target variable, where we measure the satisfaction towards the independent variable. Now for problem statement. So customer can easily book online for hotel with just a few clicks without having to wait and queue at the hotel. So consumers appeal toward the approach of online hotel booking is increasing considerably. So but the quality and efficiency of Euro hotel booking might decrease due to rate of customer demand that increase dramatically and indirectly needs to compete with the other company system.
Research objective. First, to identify the best model for decision tree analysis. Second, to identify the best model for logistic regression analysis. Third, to identify the best model for artificial neural network analysis. Fourth, to determine the best overall performance model between analysis of decision tree, logistic regression, and artificial network. And the last one, to study the relationship between the Europe hotel booking system with customer satisfaction.
Next, let us proceed to the variable in the dataset. In this dataset, there are 16 variables, which one of them are target variables and the rest are input variables. The target variable in this dataset is customer satisfaction. This table shows the variable name with the description of the data. For gender, they are male or female, and for the age, it is in interval measurement which start with 7 years old until 85 years old. The next variable is the purpose of travel, where it is categorical data such as academic, aviation, personal, business, and tourism. For type of travel, it describes 2 categories, which are group or personal travel. The type of booking also has categories, which are group booking or individual couple booking. Next, for the other variables, which are hotel Wi-Fi service, departure arrival convenience, ease of booking, hotel location, food and drink, stay comfort, common room entertainment, check-in, check-out service, other service, and cleanliness. All these variables describe the level of satisfaction from customer and was scaled out of 5. Lastly, the target variable, that is customer satisfaction. This variable asks the customer whether they are satisfied or not.
Exploratory data analysis. Exploratory data analysis is used to analyze and investigate data set, especially a large data, and summarize the main characteristic. Basically, it helps to understand pattern within data, can detect outliers or anomalies event, and then identify obvious error, also find the relationship among variables. Only then we can overcome the problem by using suitable node. And then for chart, nominal and ordinal variable, we can use pie chart, bar graph, contingency table, and histogram is for ratio variable. Summary statistic also used to summarize a large data, so it is easier to understand. It can measure location or central tendencies such as mean, measure statistical depression such as standard deviation, measure shape of distribution, and also statistical dependence if more than one variable is measured.
Next, for the second methodology is decision tree. Decision tree is one of the most powerful directed data mining techniques which can be used on such a wide range of problems and will produce a model that can explain the working. A decision tree is a hierarchical collection of rules that describe how to divide a large collection of records into successively smaller groups of records. The process of splitting rules is defined by the decision tree that breaks the data into segments. Let's see the few types to find the best splitting by measuring the purity. There are three methods we use in this project, which are Gini, entropy, and log-worst method. The Gini method takes the highest score, which the decision tree goal is to maximize the Gini score of the split. The entropy method takes the lowest score, which the goal is to minimize the entropy score of the split. The last for log-worst method takes the highest log-worst values as the highest scores of purities. After constructing all these three models, we can determine the best model.
Logistic regression is one of the regression models. Logistic regression for binary targets is suitable for modeling a binary outcome such as yes or no and good or bad. So linear regression is use a continuous target that were unsuitable to use for modeling binary target. So what we're searching is what is the probability that this record belongs to yes or no. So the probability are the numbers and the modeling binary outcome is an estimation task for the study. So here are the formula to find the odds. So from the odds, we can calculate the logistic function, which is beta 0 plus beta 1x. So then from the logistic function, we can find the another odds. So from the another odds, we can find the probability that, the probability means what is the probability that this result belongs to yes or no.
Right now, I would like to explain on the methodology of artificial neural network, or the short form is ANN. ANN consists of artificial neurons and the connection between them. It takes inputs and produces an output, and the overall behavior is called the node's activation functions. For the structure of typical neural network, it consists of input layer, second layer, and output layer. And for the activation function, it splits into two parts, which is combination functions and the transfer functions. Now, let's take a look on the data manipulations. From this research, we found 4 variables that have some problems. For the first variable is age. The problem that we found is missing value, and the solution that we use is replacement. For the second variable is common room entertainment. The problem that we found is outliers, and the solution that we use is filter. The third variable is food drain. The problems that we found is outliers, and the solution that we use is filter. And the last variable is otherwise. The problem that we found is outliers, and the solution that we use is filter. And for the other variable, there is no problem have been found.
Analysis for decision tree. This is the process of decision tree. There are maximal tree, pruning, probability tree, Gini, entropy, chat, and card that are linked to model comparison node to find the best fit model for decision tree. Next, ROC chart. As we can see, we cannot decide to choose the best model because all the model lines are very close to each other, so we need to use best fit calculation to find the best model. We move to confusion metric. we have confusion metric for Gini, entropy, log words, chat, and cart. And then we can calculate the specificity, sensitivity, and accuracy for each of the model. From this table, entropy has the best ability to predict positive outcome correctly because of higher sensitivity, which is 82.96%. While Gini and Logworth has the best ability to predict negative outcome correctly because they have the highest specificity. For overall, Gini and Logworth has the best performance. Model comparison. We have misclassification rate, average square error, and ROC index. For underfit model, we need to find the gap first. Then we look for the model that have negative sign for gap ROC and positive sign for the rest of the gap. For overfit model, we need to find the model that have the greater value for the gap, but ignore the negative sign. Then select the model that have the most large gap value. For the best model, filter the overfit model first, then choose the model that have the highest valid value for ROC and the lowest valid value for the other. This is the result. There is no model selected as underfit model. The chosen model for overfit is entropy and the best model is Gini. Important variable. This table shows that cleanliness has the highest significant value. Therefore, cleanliness is the most important variable compared to the other. This is decision tree. We have cleanliness as parent node. The level of depth is 4. We have 5 child nodes and 4 leaf nodes. Analysis of English rule. Customer satisfaction is our target variable. Altogether, we have 8 rules. Number of rules to predict target equal to 1 is 4, and number of rules that are not usable to predict target equal to 1 is also 4. The size of training set is 2500 data. The output result. Based on the table, Gini model calculate 81.96% positive event to occur, while for negative event to occur is 42.29%. Therefore, Gini model calculate the customer who satisfied with the hotel better than the customer who are neutral or not satisfied with the hotel.
And now we move to analysis in logistic regression. So here are the predictive modeling for process insights for logistic regression. So there are 7 models for logistic regression. And now for ROC chart. So from this figure, we can see that from these two figures, the curved line LR main poly is the farthest one from the baseline. So as you can see from this figure, the line LR main interpoly is the farthest from the horizontal line. So the furthest the model line from straight line indicates that the model has a good performance. So we can conclude that the LR main poly and LR main inter has the best performance. And now for confusion matrix. To calculate the confusion matrix, we take 4 value which is true positive, false positive, true negative, and also false negative, and we insert it into a table to make a confusion matrix. So the first two model is LR main and also LR inter. The next model is LR poly and also a LR main inter. And here is the confusion matrix for LR main poly and also LR inter poly. And here is the confusion matrix for LR main poly and also LR inter poly. And lastly, confusion matrix for LR main inter poly. As we can see, all the total is the same, which is 2503. So here are the table for the best sensitivity and specificity. So for sensitivity, we took the model LR poly because it has a higher value of sensitivity, and for specificity, we choose LR main interpoly because it has the higher value of specificity. And now for model comparison. So for model comparison, we took 2 valid and also train for misclassification rate, for average squared error, and also ROC index. for gap between valid and train, so we took the valid and the train value, then we subtract both of it, so we get the gap. So we calculate the gap between misclassification rate, gap average square error, and also gap ROC index for both the 7 models. So from the gap value, we can determine the underfit, the overfit, and also the best fit model. So there is no underfit model. So for overfit model, we choose LR inter and also LR inter poly as overfit model because it has the highest value between valid and train. So for best fit model, we choose LR main poly after all the calculation is made, and it also has the best performance from the ROC index.
Right now, I would like to explain on the process of SAS for the artificial neural network. There are 4 neural network models, which is neural network 3, 5, 8, and 11. And all these models will be connected to the replacement node by the data partitions. In order to find the best fit model, all the models just now will be linked to the model comparison and being run. Then, the output will be translated into a meaningful data. Right now, let's take a look on the ROC chart. Based on this ROC chart, there are 4 neural network models, which is neural network 3, neural network 5, neural network 8, and neural network 11. And based on this chart, we cannot read the result precisely because the line of each model is approximately close to each other. So, the best method in finding the best model is by using the best fit calculation method. From here, we can see there is a confusion matrix table for the neural network 3 and the neural network 5. And from this table, we can find the value of specificity and the sensitivity. Next, we can see here there's a confusion matrix for the model of neural network 8 and neural network 11. From these tables, we also can find the value of specificity and sensitivity for these 2 models. Right now, let's take a look on the best sensitivity and specificity. From this table, we have found that the best sensitivity is neural network 5, since it has the highest sensitivity value. And next, for the neural network 8, it is chosen since it has the highest specificity value. This is the model comparison for the value of valid and train for ASE, MSE, MR, and ROC. For the gap between valid and train value, we have found that for ASE, the lowest value is neural network 3, and the highest value is neural network 5. Next, for MSE, by ignoring the sign, the lowest value is neural network 3, and the highest value is neural network 11. Next, for MR, the lowest value is neural network 3, and the highest value is neural network 11. And the last one is ROC. By ignoring the sign, the lowest value is neural network 3, and the highest value is neural network 8. Right now, I would like to explain on the underfit model, overfit model, and the best fit model. From here, we can see that there is no underfit model because there is no condition when the gap of ASE is negative, when the gap of MSE is negative, when the gap of MR is negative, and when the gap of ROC is positive. Next, neural network 11 is chosen as the overfit model because it has the largest gap in majority. Next, neural network 3 is chosen as the best fit model because it fulfills majority of the rule for the best fit model, which is referring to the value of valid. When the ASE is lower, the MSE is lower, MR is lower, and the ROC is higher. Right now, let's take a look on the iteration chart. Based on this chart, we can see that the graph is start to diverge at point 8, and after the point 8, the valid ASE start to increase.
Lastly, after all the methods have been selected the best model, we proceed to find the best among the best model with these three methods. In this picture, we can see that after all the analysis of decision tree, logistic regression, and artificial neural network, decision tree Gini, LR main poly, and neural network tree is the best model for the analysis respectively. All the models are linked with model comparison nodes to run and get the result. The output are then analyzed and translated into the meaningful data. This picture is the process in the SAS. From this ROC chart, we could not detect the best model by seeing the line and B assumed. We can find the best models by using the best fit calculation later. Next, for the confusion matrix, it shows the number of correct and incorrect prediction made by the classification model compared to the target value in the data. We take the validate value to calculate the complete confusion matrix. For the sensitivity, specificity, and accuracy, this measure can be obtained through the confusion matrix. The higher the value of accuracy, the better the overall performance of the model. So, from this table, we can conclude that model decision tree Gini is the best overall performance since it has the highest value of accuracy, which is 67.68%. The lowest performance in overall is model LR main poly with 65.61% only for accuracy value. Next, for the model comparison. To calculate the model comparison, at least the values needed are average square error, mean square error, misclassification rate, and ROC index. And it is required for the value of train and valid for each of them to calculate the value of gap. From this table, we can check to get the underfit, overfit, and best model. To get the underfit model, we check the valid value of each and determine whether ASE, MSE, and MR is negative and ROC must be positive. For the overfit model, we can check the larger gap and choose the majority highlighted model. Lastly, for the best model, we check the valid value where ASE, MSE, and MR must be lower and ROC is the higher. Before that, we need to remove the model that has been declared as an underfit and overfit model before we get the best model. So, the overall of our project, we define that there is no underfit model and LR main poly is an overfit model. The best model of this project is decision tree Gini.
In conclusion, we are able to identify the most suitable model to use between the three models, which is logistic regression model, decision tree model, and neural network models. The best model among the three models is decision tree Gini. Based on decision tree model, we found that cleanliness is the most important variable to the model compared to the other variable.